Alright, the second game then between Biggels and Griffin is going to be on a map that we all know well. It is, of course, the mighty Death Aura. Biggels is 1-0 up and is here in the bottom right. Meanwhile, Griffin up in the top left. So, last game it was double proxy racks from Biggels, which ultimately allowed him to win. And yeah, that's what happened. All right. So this SCV is coming out just to have a look in case his opponent maybe is trying to proxy him. But to be honest, that's far too early. You can't get across the map that quickly. So, but I guess maybe this time Biggels is thinking about a very fast command center or something. Now, the barracks does come down as normal. So I don't know what this SCV is doing. Maybe just a guard, maybe just staying on guard. Whatever it's doing, I don't like it. Over on this side of the map, it's a very early gas to go with this barracks, and that's fine. It's a common enough thing to do as Terran. You start the gas, you start the barracks, and if you start running gas straight away, you've probably just about got enough gas to build a Reaper as soon as your barracks finishes, or very quickly afterwards. So a second barracks coming down and gas coming for Biggels. This worker, whatever he was thinking of doing, he's changed his mind and he's come back home. Barracks finishes up, so we'll see what he's got in mind here very soon. Neither player with an expo just yet, but maybe Griffin. Maybe Griffin's doing what Biggels is doing, is just going to send a worker down here to stand and watch for a while. Half-hearted scout, didn't actually look in this corner, so there could be two barracks building here and he wouldn't have a clue. He just came to about here. Anyway, there aren't, so it's all good. Yeah, so no command center yet for Biggels, which is just weird, to be honest. Especially if you're going to build a bunker here, because the bunker suggests you're playing a defensive game. If you're playing a defensive game, why wouldn't you already have a command center building? I don't really know what that's about. On the other side of the map, look, the CC is up and running, and Marines are in production 2 at a time, with the second barracks also in production. So Tech Lab is going to finish up shortly for Biggels. That's going to let him get the combat shield, the stem, and all of those types of goodies for his Marines. 2 more barracks for Griffin. So this could be a big, dirty 2-base all-in Marine push, and I wouldn't mind that. It'd be the sort of thing, like just the reactor is just making me suspicious. I don't mind it. You definitely need combat shield to go with it, so we'll see what happens next. If he starts Marine production, normally what you would do, factory and the starport, one of these will have a tech lab for getting combat shield and stim, and as soon as the starport's done, this will be saturated, and you can just throw down maybe an extra 3 barracks and just hold the A button and start sending your Marines across the map with medevac support to get into your opponent's base. But it's all a bit slow, to be honest. So I don't think that is what's happening here. Anyway, going for Stim first. It's all right. Stim, it takes quite a long time to upgrade. And yeah, it's personal preference, I guess, really. You go Stim first, you go Combat Shield first. Kind of doesn't matter, Obviously, if you're planning something early, if you're planning an early push, because Stim takes so much longer than Combat Shields have more value. And until you've got medevacs to heal your Marines, you've got to be careful with Stim. Although a Stim Marine push very early can also be really effective as well, because the DPS is just so much higher for Stimmed Marines that it typically more than outweighs the damage that pressing Stim does to them. But it kind of depends on the engagement. If your opponent's got a siege tank, if you fail to snipe the siege tank, the Stim damage combined with the splash can mean that your Marines become very squishy indeed, but can be effective. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, things just looking all right here. It looks like Biggels is going to go for maybe a ghost drop. Certainly the Ghost Academy is up. He doesn't actually have a ghost, nor is he building one, but he is researching Ghost Cloak. So yeah, interesting. Neither of these players have built a Reaper. Neither of them have done any sort of scouting whatsoever. Literally nothing. So a ghost could be good here because Griffin isn't going to have the first clue that it's coming. At the same time, Biggels has no idea what he's dropping the ghost into. You know, his opponent's base could be covered in turrets. Okay, there goes the scan. So he sees that this is quite a number of Marines, isn't it? So that is not a small number of Marines. Let's take a quick peek. It's 30 Marines on the map. So in fact, if Griffin just heads across the map right now, he could really cause some problems. Combat shield started, and if he started walking now, combat shield would be done by the time he got across the map. But you know, so stimming combat shield, stimming in here, and just, you know, running past this stuff, focused on that siege tank, which is pretty open, focused on the bunker, and you could well get away with it with the double medevac production healing this stuff. You could get some serious hurt on. Let's have a quick peek. The upgrades, yeah. So has got concussive shell, but actually, oh no, sorry, he doesn't. I'm looking at Biggels. Yeah, +1 attack coming. Now there is a nuke building. So, but where's the ghost? I wonder. Yeah, you see, this ghost is pretty lit, isn't it? You want to build your ghost earlier. And the reason I say that, you need your ghost to be standing about doing nothing for a while, because look, the ghost's got energy, and cloaking costs energy, or staying cloaked costs energy. So you want to get your ghost out earlier so that it's got maximum sort of energy, so that you can keep it cloaked, you can keep it running about for a while. We'll see what this nuke drop gets done. Meanwhile, it looks like big old drop moving out. They don't see each other. They don't see each other. Look at this. So here are the medevacs of Griffin. Let's just follow those, and let's just, this is Griffin's vision. Mineral field. So here comes the moment when they're going to pass each other, and no, they don't see each other at all. Very close though. So the ghost is going to be out first. You know, if he cloaks up and just runs over here and drops the nuke there, oh, the pen. Oh, the absolute savagery of it. Is that what he's going for? Is it? Where is he going? Oh my. Oh my. Does Griffin, does he see the dot? I think he sees the dot. So there's going to be losses for sure, but he's seen the dot, so only the siege tank. But look, he can lift this ghost out of the way. He should have uncloaked so that the ghost is gaining energy again. He doesn't want to drop in here with the siege tank at the back. He just wants to boost into the men. He has dropped here. No, don't do this. It's horrible. You know, this siege tank shouldn't have sieged up, not within range. But oh gosh, that was an unpleasant thing. What just happened over on this side of the map, please? Did he pull the ghost uncloaked? You just need to. He's not actually building another nuke. I guess he's busy with this stuff. I wonder if he's F2'd. He's F2'd, hasn't he? He's F2'd, and therefore the ghost has been obliterated and the medevac's flying home. That's a real shame. But you know, this drop was just expensive. Ultimately for Griffin, he's lost 16 Marines, 2 medevacs for nothing, and that hurts a bit. Yeah, you know, word to the wise, like drop a scan or whatever before you go in with the medevacs. Just make sure you know what you're about to boost into. And in this case, all he had to do was come around the back here and drop into this location, and he could have just had an absolute field day. He could have killed a lot of workers. Even if the workers had ran, he could have stimmed forward and just focused on the command center. You know, 16 stim Marines will kill a command center reasonably quickly. And then, you know, as Biggels' army files up the ramp, he can just load into the medevacs into a bank. So at present, it's actually Griffin with the supply lead, with that substantial Marine army. but it's Biggels that's got the quicker third, which is mining. Griffin hasn't yet saturated in the natural, and actually needs to transfer some workers because this is oversaturated. He stopped building workers, and there's no sign of him building a third command center, so that's worrying. You do need to stay on top of that, you know. You keep building the workers, you keep building the expos. It looks like there's another nuke in production now. Biggels must know that he lost the ghost, and I don't think he has any ghosts at present. No ghosts. So, as I said previously, you need to get the ghost out so it's got time to build up that energy. I'd like to see this army positioning a bit forward. You know, you can position here with your siege tanks here. Yeah, that's where you want to be, so that anything coming up from either direction is going to take a beating. I'd like to see a siege tank over here as well, just covering anything coming in from this ramp, and I wouldn't mind either player throwing out the odd missile turret to defend themselves against ghosts and stuff. Liberators in production. We don't see many Liberators in the EMS League, so I'd quite like to see what Griffin's able to get done with these. Useful units, you can use them to just fly around the back and drop the liberation zone sort of here, so it's really awkward to get to them, and just be picking off the workers like that. You can use them in an engagement to swing in the sides and just liberate here, just so the siege tank's just within the edge of it. You know, if you imagine the Liberator parked here, can throw a zone down here, so it's hitting that siege tank. It's very awkward for Marines to get to it and stuff. So, you know, if you were going to push in the front here, moves like that with the Liberators can negate the siege tanks for you. So all sorts can be done with those, or you can just use them defensively in an engagement. Oh my goodness. So, it looks to me like Griffin is on this. He sees the red dot. Does he see the red dot?
Upgrade.
Oh! 14 kills. It's a bit painful. So I think he knew where it was, but the unit movement maybe wasn't ideal. I mean, the better thing to do would have been to just drop the scan. So, you know, a ghost, once it's ordered the nuke, can't move. You can't cancel it. You can't do anything with that ghost. It's frozen. So you drop the scan. You can just walk up and shoot the ghost in the head, and that's the end of that. You know, it isn't in StarCraft lore where the nuke goes, because you can see them launch from the silo when the launch goes. You see them go up in the air, and if they hit, you see them fall. But even if they've come into view, if the ghost dies when the nuke's kind of at the top of the screen, it just vanishes. It's just like, where did that go? Just fell out of the sky or something? No, vanished. Literally vanished. So yeah, that's a thing. I wouldn't mind Griffin just building a turret out the front here, just to keep these pesky cloaked ghosts at bay. And more than wouldn't mind, I really want to see him build some command centers, because at 17 minutes you're still on 2 bases. I mean, dude, come on. +2 is that for the Marines is coming in. There's a battle cruiser being built by Biggels. If we have a little peek at the upgrades, at present 1-1 for Griffin, +1 armor. Both have combat shield, no stim for Biggels, so his bio definitely isn't as effective as Griffin's, but these nukes, oh, he's killed that one. Yeah, so hang on, if we back it up, we'll see the nuke launch. There it goes. And then the ghost dies, and that nuke, where did it go? Nobody knows. No one knows. Maybe it just hurtled off into space, or maybe it's gonna like fall back down in a while, just into the side here. Would be pretty funny if you denied the ghost if they just fell wherever they were. That would be pretty cool. Be a cool little twist. It would make nukes pretty risky, wouldn't it? Because you drop the nuke over here and the ghost gets sniped straight away, and the nuke just falls on your own mineral line here and obliterates it. Oh, that would be funny. Yeah, so Biggels has the more technical army here. He's got Thors in the mix, he's got Hellbats, but oh no, the medevac's out the front. This is a horrible, horrible engagement. No siege tank sieged up. Look, a siege tank sieged up. Look how much damage you'd be doing to this. You know what I mean? Everything filing through. Please, please. And you know, you can turn and fight this at some point. That is a hell of a lot of marine, though, isn't it? Wow, 124 marines on this map at present. That is a big, big marine army. But you know, stuff like these guys with medevac support can do well against the marines. But you know, the dubious micro with that needs to pull the repair on this really, really quickly. You know, this can do well against marines if it's been repaired because of the splash damage. So there are a lot of marines down here. The blue flame hellbats are absolutely going to town. But I have a feeling Griffin maybe just has too much. None of the siege tanks sieged up though at the back for Griffin, so no, he doesn't have too much. This siege tank doing great work. Look at that, 15 kills, brutal. 9 kills, absolute madness, madness. So what a savage beating that was. You know, that was a lot of better teched marines. And yeah, if you think like just how much work that siege tank did at the back, softening them up, the CC before it went down is doing splash damage on them as well. In addition to that, there was the stim button, and they're just, you know, 3 medevacs. I don't know how many there were before, but 124 marines sure does need a lot of medevacs. Yeah, that didn't go so well that time. And there weren't enough medevacs to be healing up. So you know, if you think 124 marines, when you press the T button, the stim button, you've literally done like 1,240 damage to your own army in one fell swoop. And that is gnarly. That is a big damage. Yeah, compared to, you know, a siege tank doing like 30 or whatever it does. I don't know. It's a lot of siege tank shots, that is. But anyway, cool beans, cool beans. Yeah, what's in here? 1 marine. Yeah, you know, Biggels, I don't really... You beat that army pretty soundly, and I don't know how come you're still parked at home. What I would have liked to have seen, given you had a battlecruiser out, is, you know, when that army turned up, just blink the battlecruiser across the map into your opponent's base. Because if his army's in your base, he's got nothing at home. And the battlecruiser, you know, there was no Yamatos or anything that I saw. It wasn't really adding much to a fight like that. So, yeah, that would have been a nice thing. Anyway, it's +3 is coming right now for Griffin. He is again building a substantial marine army. This time, I mean, it's only half the size of what it was, and actually Biggels has got a fair number of marines himself too. So, you know, this game is currently, Biggels is so far ahead right now. I don't know, you know, he just needs to be aggressive here. Like, why are we waiting? What's happening, Biggels? Get across the map and kill your opponent. Don't, you know, you're ahead, get further ahead. I don't know, you're bumped up to 200 supply, so you at present can't get a bigger army. So like, this is all the army you can possibly have. So what is achieved by waiting? Just waiting for your opponent to have a bigger army so that it's more of a fair fight or something. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get why we're waiting. And I don't get why there's battlecruisers with this army, and I don't like it. You know, get those battlecruisers, blink into your opponent's men, force his army to come out of position while you send the rest of your units into the third to destroy it. Anything like that would be awesome. What I am liking is the way Biggels is expanding that. At 25 minutes, he's got roughly the right number of bases for a turn, hasn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, you know, kudos for that. This, on the other hand, is a misery, isn't it? Yeah, this medevac, what's it doing? Come on, what? That's what it's doing. The big nuke? Okay, but you know that your opponent's got this mobile detection, so you need to join that up with moving in. I don't know about this. A lot of Biggels stuff just not shooting. No, not a siege tank sieged up anywhere, is there? I think the marine numbers this time are just going to do it, aren't they? I think they are. Yeah, they do. So these aren't going to last against all those marines, so get them out of there. Teleport, 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 or don't. Yeah. I don't know how you've managed that, Biggles, to be honest. I really don't. Well, to be fair, Benji did warn me earlier today. He said you might have to get the rusty spoon ready, and I'm beginning to see why that could be the case. So let's have a look at the upgrades. +3, it's 3-1, which is yeah. It's just, what is this like? 3-1 you don't see every day. Like, no, Benji got like +1 armor and then just thought that's enough, we'll stop there. It hasn't got stim. Has got blue flame, which is good. Has got the Yamato for the battle cruisers, not that he's used them. And I don't really know what's happening. He's got bases all over the show. Let's see what's in production. Stuff, you know. But I can't help but feel that had he been more proactive earlier, you know, he just gave his opponent an opportunity to rebuild an army that he'd already beaten once, and had he just gone across the map, he could have won. But you know, Griffin clearly has a lot of marine production. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He's building marines 11 at a time, so it doesn't take him long to get remaxed if you give him a chance. So army supplies are pretty even, but let's have a look. The army values are actually also pretty even. The heavier gas usage from these tech units for Biggles. But yeah, it's been a bit of a weird one, you know. I don't know, are there nukes, are there ghosts to be had? Sending the ghost in, you know, you've tried it quite a few times, looking for that dream hit. But the Raven with that army was causing all sorts of problems. The Raven is gone now, so I prefer the ghost to be sneaking into these locations, dropping a nuke here, or, you know, trying that sort of guns, maybe coming around this side, dropping a nuke here, but staying well away from the stuff that might scan you and blow you up. I don't know. This one's hard to call, isn't it? I don't really know what's happening. So Biggles at 200 supply is going to move out. Let's hope it's a better engagement. I wish that these medevacs just going in front is the most horrible thing ever. You know, you don't send the units that can't shoot in first. they need to. You can't just F2 your army like that. You just can't. You need to have these following the marine, because you just don't want them up at the front. And like, just please, Lordy, can I see some siege tanks actually sieged up for once in an engagement? Like, all this stuff's like parked here hiding. I'm not 100% sure what's happening with these medevacs, but he needs to be careful, because if half of his units are in medevacs, that's a bad thing. Anyway, Benji successfully gets the snipe on that. If the siege tanks would only siege up, siege tanks are at the front, that's horrible. Oh my goodness, this engagement, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. It looks like there's just enough marine numbers to plow through this, and there is. There's still 115 army supplied for him here. He's still got 93 marines, so he is going to do the sense. He's going to do what Biggles should have done 10 minutes ago. He's killed his opponent's army, so he's just going to A-click across the map and kill his opponent before they have a chance to build an army. But again, the medevacs, like, look at what's happening. Oh, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. The medevacs, just pull them back. Just have them at the back, please. Please, somebody just put their medevacs at the back, please. Okay, so hit the stim button, come in here, focus that down, focus everything down, yada 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 yada. Haha, you die, you die, you die. Of course, whether Griffin knows it or not, Benji actually has way more bases still mining. But this is going to be close. The blue flame Hellbats just go down very, very quickly indeed. These Marines are so bruised, but the medevacs still have a lot of energy, even though there aren't very many of them. I don't think that Biggels has got enough army to do anything about this. Yeah, he just doesn't. And you know, while he built bases pretty well, he doesn't have that much production. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Marines, 5 at a time, only 1 factory. Yeah, he's got these Stargates, but you know, what's he building from them? Battle cruisers queued up. Look at the money in that queue. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. The Pearl Ghost comes out not cloaked, gets sniped. Yeah, I think it's over, Biggles. I mean, yeah, no, he's building more production, but you know, look at the money in the bank here. You could have built. Oh, I don't know. It's a lot of money, isn't it? You could have built. Look, the reason that's spiked is because when a building with a queue gets picked off, you get the money back. So the 5 battle cruisers that were in the queue when the starport went down, just you got the money back. But yeah, there's nothing that can stop this army now. There's no point trying to rebuild. You know, you're trying to. You've got an army supply of 3. You're trying to catch up with somebody with an army supply of 100. You're not going to catch up. So it's GG. And I've got to be honest, Biggles lost that game rather than Griffin specifically winning it. You know, let's just remind ourselves that at the 10-minute mark, Griffin was still on 2 bases. And in fact, I have a feeling that at the 17-minute mark or something ridiculous, he was still on 2 bases. No one should win under those circumstances, you know what I mean? No one should be going around winning. The medevacs are out of energy. Griffin, you don't need to press stim. You've just got overwhelming numbers. You don't need the stim. You're just doing damage that is unnecessary. But it isn't going to matter because there's nothing here that can do anything about it. You know, Biggles still building stuff, but really, you know, how are you going to get back? You know, so I don't know. Tragic springs to mind. Absolutely tragic. Don't think he knows about this though, does he? Let's have a peek. Oh, he does. He does know about that. It's the only one he knows about. Maybe that's where the scam was.
Unacceptable command. We are at maximum supply.
Yeah. So Griffin maxed out is eventually just going to walk in here and kill all this. Needs to stop pressing that stim button. It's no longer necessary. You can't just casually walk in here and wreck everything. He's going to be a bit disappointed that this doesn't end the game. So I guess we'll see a few more scans come down and he will eventually find the rest of Biggles' stuff. Biggles, who's now massively supply blocked. Yeah, because he doesn't have, literally doesn't have, it's only got like these three supply depots. So no, didn't hit them that time. I mean, what, you know, look how many Marines he's got here. Like, why not just peel 1 Marine off to each of the mineral patches on the map? I think you've got enough Marines to spare. That would probably be an okay thing to do, but I don't know. All we're watching now is a huge pack of Marines shoot buildings. That depot queue. Yeah, I think Griffin makes a fair point. The G is indeed G'd here. That was the last stand. You know, those were really well positioned siege tanks. There's no 2 ways about it. And they traded extremely well right at the end there. But you know, 145 Marines. Yeah, you need a little bit more than 2 well positioned siege tanks. Anyway, GG.